palace of Aurelian Prime stood like a mountain of living crystal above the capital city. Towers of silver glass pierced the purple sky, and thousands of lights glowed across its walls. Inside the palace, every corridor was guarded. Every door was watched. Every movement was recorded. The Aurelian Empire ruled hundreds of star systems. Enemies watched them from every direction. That was why the Imperial Guard never relaxed. Tonight the palace was even more alert than usual. For the first time in history, a human delegation from Earth had arrived. Humans were new to the galactic stage. They had appeared suddenly. They explored dangerous space routes without hesitation. They fought pirates twice their size. They survived disasters that would wipe out most species. Many aliens admired them. Many others feared them. Inside the diplomatic wing, Captain Daniel Mercer of Earth Defense Fleet stood quietly beside a massive window. Below him, the alien capital stretched across the horizon, like a sea of glowing stars. Daniel crossed his arms and smiled slightly. "Beautiful city," he said softly. The human officer was tall and broad-shouldered. His uniform carried the blue insignia of Earth Fleet Command. His calm posture made it look like nothing in the universe could shake him. He was waiting for the next diplomatic meeting. But far away, in another part of the palace, something unexpected was happening. Princess Liari was running. Her silver hair streamed behind her as she sprinted down a long, glowing hallway. Her royal robes fluttered wildly as she turned a corner. Two guards jumped in shock. "Your Highness, please stop," one guard shouted. Liari laughed and kept running. "You were too slow," she called back. Behind her, half a dozen elite guards rushed forward, trying to catch up. The princess had escaped her escort again. This was not the first time. Princess Liari was famous across the palace for her curiosity. She hated rules. She hated boring meetings. She especially hated being told what she could not do. And today she wanted to see something the council had forbidden. A human that the young princess had spent weeks reading reports about humanity, stories of impossible rescues, stories of soldiers holding the line against overwhelming odds, stories of humans protecting strangers without hesitation. She wanted to know if those stories were real, which was exactly why she was now sprinting through 3 layers of palace. Security guards chased her through corridor after corridor. "Princess, please stop running," one of them shouted. Liari did not slow down. "I will stop when I find the human," she replied. Ahead of her, the diplomatic hall doors opened. She rushed through them at full speed. At the exact same moment, Captain Daniel Mercer stepped away from the window. Neither of them saw the other in time. Liari slammed directly into him. The impact would have sent her crashing to the floor. But Daniel reacted instantly. His arms moved like lightning. He caught her. For a single frozen moment, the entire universe seemed to pause. Princess Liari found herself lifted off the ground in the arms of a human. Daniel blinked down in surprise. "Well, hello there," he said calmly. Liari stared up at him with wide, shining eyes. "You are human," she said. Before Daniel could answer, the doors behind them exploded open. Dozens of Imperial guards stormed into the hall. Energy spears ignited with bright blue light. Then every single guard froze, because their princess was standing safely in the arms of a human officer. The scene was impossible. No one moved, no one moved, no one breathed. Daniel slowly looked around at the army of armored soldiers aiming weapons in his direction. He raised one eyebrow. "I am guessing this looks worse than it actually is," he said. One guard stepped forward slowly. "Put the princess down immediately." Daniel carefully lowered Liari back onto her feet. There you go, he said gently. No harm done. The guard stared at him as if he had just touched a star. Princess Lyari, however, looked completely fascinated. Your reflexes are incredible, she said. Daniel shrugged. Where? I come from, if someone is about to hit the floor, you catch them. Simple rule. The guards still looked extremely tense. One soldier whispered urgently into a communicator. Seconds later, another figure entered the hall. Tall robes, silver authority crest. High Chancellor, Valoran. He stopped the moment he saw the human standing beside the princess. His voice became dangerously calm. Explain. Lyari raised her hand happily. I ran into the human and he saved me from falling. Daniel nodded politely. Reflexes. Sir Valoran studied him carefully. Humans had a reputation for aggression and unpredictability, yet this one stood calmly surrounded by armed guards, without even touching a weapon. Then the Chancellor noticed something interesting. Daniel had positioned himself slightly in front of the princess, not aggressively, but protectively, even though he was completely surrounded. Valoran narrowed his eyes. Captain Mercer, he said slowly. Why are you standing between the princess and the Imperial Guard? Daniel looked surprised. Oh, that old habit, he said. If someone looks nervous, I usually step forward until I know everything is safe. The guards exchanged glances. The princess did not look nervous. She looked excited. Valoran took another step closer. Captain Mercer, if the guards believed you were threatening the princess, they would attack instantly. Daniel nodded. That sounds reasonable. You would not survive. Daniel smiled slightly. Probably not. The hall became silent again. Valoran studied the human carefully. Then he asked a question that mattered. If the princess had been in danger, what would you have done? Daniel answered without hesitation. Whatever was necessary to keep her safe, even against Imperial guards. Daniel met the Chancellor gaze without fear. If that was the threat, then yes. Several guards tightened their grips on their weapons, but none of them attacked. Instead, something unexpected happened. The Chancellor smiled. A very small smile. Interesting, he said. Princess. Lyari clapped happily. See, she said. I told everyone humans were brave. Valoran turned to the guards. Stand down. Energy. Spears dimmed. The tension in the hall slowly faded. The Chancellor looked back at Daniel. Captain Mercer, you reacted without thinking. You stepped into a situation involving the heir of an interstellar empire. Daniel rubbed the back of his neck. Yeah, sorry about that. Valoran shook his head. Do not apologize. You acted on instinct, and your instinct was to protect. He turned toward the long palace corridor. Walk with us. Captain Lyari immediately grabbed Daniel's arm and started walking beside him. The guards followed carefully behind. Princess Lyari looked up at the human officer with endless curiosity. Is it true humans sometimes fight enemies twice their size? Daniel nodded. Sometimes 3 times. Is it true humans protect strangers? Most of us try. Is it true humans explore dangerous worlds just to see what is there? Daniel laughed. Guilty. Lyari smiled brightly. I knew the stories were real. Ahead of them, the palace balcony doors opened. The glowing capital city spread across the horizon like a galaxy of lights. Behind them, the Imperial guards watched the human officer walking beside their princess. None of them forgot what they had seen. A human who moved without hesitation. A human who showed no fear. A human who protected first and asked questions. Later, One guard whispered quietly to another, "Humans are strange." The second guard nodded slowly. "Yes, but if they protect our princess like that, then perhaps they are exactly the allies this galaxy needs." Far ahead, Princess Liari was still asking questions, and Captain Daniel Mercer kept answering with quiet patience, because sometimes the future of entire civilizations did not begin with treaties or wars. Sometimes it began with a simple moment. A princess running through a palace, a human catching her before she fell, and an entire empire realizing that humanity might be the bravest friend they could ever have.